Hello everyone! Can you hear me? Are you all here now? I'm in our living room. I'm going to wait until you're all live. Actually, I don't think my earphones are working, so I'll remove these. So, I don't know if you can hear me okay. Just fix the volume. It's my first time to do this in our living room. It's our living room, and the fan is too noisy. Okay, I see a pair of eyeballs. Please let me know who you are in the comment section. Is this V? This is a great topic, guys. Positive thinking. This is my favorite. Are you ready with your drink? I'm ready with my rosé. This is the one that my husband gave me. It's Jacob's Creek. It's my first time to try this brand. It's Australian. It's not very sweet, but it's good. Very sparkly. Okay, I'm going to wait for more people to come in. Baka kasi kumakain pa. I've finished. Actually, I'm done washing the dishes. I just have to wash the feeding bottles later after our call. Ayan. Yes, nakawala. Stuck na ulit. Who else is here? Oh, I can see 3 people. Did you guys like the the image that I used on our event for tonight? Merong ice cream. So happy. Yeah. How's your Friday, guys? What do you have with you? Water, Coke, hot chocolate, kape? What do you have with you for our chit-chat? Let me know in the comment section. What's soju mode? What's that? What's soju mode? Does anyone know what soju mode is? I have no idea. I can see 4 eyeballs. Hi! Please say hello in the comment section so I know who you are. Grabe yung dinner namin. Parang tipong nag-share lang kami sa, oh, soju. It's a Korean drink. Cheers. Yung ba yung green na bote? Is that the one in the green bottle? Hi, Regina. Good evening. Oh, a sake. Ooh. What do you have with you, Regina? We're talking about what drink we have with us. Hi, May. Hello. It's so good to have you guys here. Thank you for joining. Ayan. Sana mag-engage kayo ha because I'll be asking you questions about our topic for tonight, which is positive thinking. Water. Okay, Regina. I always have just water. Pero since nakastock na ako, meron akong rosé. I'm so happy. Panampakita ko. I even bought this glass, I think just 2 weeks ago. Kasi um, my wine glasses are for red wine. And then I saw sa Manila Expat, someone was selling her used rosé glasses. So, she was selling a dozen. Sabi ko, I don't need a dozen. Kahit walang COVID, I don't have a dozen friends who will drink rosé. So I said, can I just buy 6 pieces? And she was okay with it. I got 6 pieces for just 600 pesos, I think. Just a good steal. Yeah. Oh, you're already in your bed. I hope you dream of us. You dream of positive thinking before you go to bed. Thanks for having us with you, May. Okay. Yeah. All right. Sige, let's get started. So, I'll just give a bit of history on positive thinking. I actually first came across positive thinking fresh out of college. When I did a bit of insurance back then. I didn't finish college. I had to stop because we couldn't afford it. So someone said, "Oh, there's this MLM." No. So they were selling insurance, but their main drive was for the agents to be, positive thinkers. So they would refer to us a lot of books on positive thinking, and I couldn't afford the books then, so I would hang out at Tower Books and read the books there for free because you can open them and read them. And that's where I came across books in positive thinking. And it really helped me to become positive. Okay? Positive thinking books, self development books, that's when I got started with it. Okay? And um, that's been a habit for me, it's never left me. Um, because it really empowers you. It makes you think of converting your negative thoughts into positive thoughts. And it reduces your stress, it increases your self confidence, you believe in yourself more. And it's really helped me a lot. So that was my first encounter with positive thinking. Um, it helped me because I used to be really shy. I was so painfully shy. If you saw me when I was in college, I would not talk to strangers. Impression sa akin when I was suplada. So when I joined that MLM company for insurance, when I started to talk to strangers, cold contacts. That's how I learned it. And I would not have been able to do it without the practice and also the positive thinking things that I can do this. And then when I had a baby, one of my first gigs as a virtual assistant was to support an entrepreneur couple in the UK. And they were writing blogs about positive thinking, positive parenting. So I had to read on those things for me to be able to write the blogs about those topics. And that's how I got introduced into positive parenting. There is a study um, that that was done on nuns. Okay, the nuns were observed for I think decades. They were observed for decades, and they wanted to see what was the secret ingredient um, amongst the nuns who lived long and did not have Alzheimer's disease, heart disease. And one of the key things for them was that the nuns who kept their neurons active lived longer. They did not have Alzheimer's disease. So they noticed that the nurses who would write in their journals every night had less chances of having Alzheimer's. And then between those nurses who wrote long entries, very complex words, and sorry, not nurses, the nuns who wrote with long entries versus the nuns who just wrote short entries. The nuns who wrote with long journal writings, they're the ones who lived longer and did not suffer from Alzheimer's. It's because, well, the more active your thinking is, it's like exercising your neurons to connect with each other. Okay, so that was the key for not having Alzheimer's. And another thing that they discovered is that people who had like an anchor to believe in when things get tough, like for example, people who believe in God, okay, no matter what religion, people who believe in God tend to have a more optimistic point of view in life because they have hope. They know that they have a bigger force to hold on to pull, what do you call this, hope from. Okay, as opposed to those who feel like they don't have anyone else to rely on aside from the people. So if the people that they think are supposed to support them aren't supporting them, then they will feel like they only have themselves, and that will feel lonely. But if you have a bigger being like God that you can hold on to for strength, then that keeps you going and keeps you positive and happy. The third study that I saw is that for people who had a happy childhood, um, overall have a happy life, they are the ones who um, who have dinners together at night. Okay, they studied. They said, how come in this neighborhood in Italy? Okay, bye. See you later. They were wondering why do the population in Italy in this certain city or I think certain town why are the people there happy or why do they live longer? And what the pattern that they saw was that people there, the families, would always sit down together to eat dinner. Okay, and while they're eating dinner, they would talk to each other. They would catch up what happened during the day, what's happening tomorrow. They would talk about what happened in the past. So those are some key ingredients that kept their family happy and gave them a long life. So I thought I'd share those with you because I when I learned those things, I incorporated them into my own life. Okay, so at night, I make sure that my family and I we eat together, even if we can't eat lunch together or breakfast together. I make sure that we eat dinner together, that it's a pleasant experience. We chat, we catch up with each other, and then I also practice journaling, just like the nuns, because when you do journaling, you talk about things that you're grateful for at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day before you sleep. You talk about the things that you're grateful for, and you'll notice that, oh, we think things are small, but actually we're grateful for them. And when you're grateful for things, then you appreciate them more and you don't take things for granted. For those who are still here, where do you apply positive thinking? Do you apply any of these things that I've mentioned to you? For example, do you eat with your family at least once a day? And is it a pleasant experience? Or do you journal? Or yeah, do you do writing? Yeah, what else? Do you believe in God or a central force in the universe that you can, you know, hold on to when things get tough? Please let me know in the comments. I'd love to know. Right. So um, that's something that I want to pass on to my kids because um, when you're not, when you don't know how to handle negative thoughts or stress, then it can be bad for your health. So, what are the things that we often encounter where we need positive thinking or positive self-talk? First of all, when we don't believe in ourselves or when we lose self-confidence or when we make a big mistake or there's a big challenge in front of us that parang it doesn't seem like we'd be able to overcome it, right? Have you encountered anything? I'm sure you've encountered something like that more than once in your life. Okay, my optimism was tested really hard a couple of weeks ago when my sister got COVID. Got really scared. I used to think I'm such a strong, positive thinker, but when that happened, I got so scared. I mean, I would be crying almost every day. It's like it's nothing that positive thinking can fix. It's like it's just too overwhelming for me. I mean, that's just being human. We stay positive as much as we can. I guess the strength is there within me because I was still able to work, function. I was able to work, spend time with my kids and things like that. But maybe if I did not have that resilience, maybe I would have just, you know, been so depressed, not able to get up from bed. Baka ako pa yung nagkasakit, di ba? So, it's a good thing now we exercise that kind of, you know, positive thinking mentality so that when things really crush us, we still have a bit of strength left so that we can still function in some way. Hi, Ram. Thank you for joining. And I was just talking about the 3 scientific studies that showed what people do to have a longer life, a happy life. Oh, you can relate, Ram. Oh, you know what, guys? I wish we could, you know, just really exchange about our life stories here. Good evening. Because I'd love to know you more. Yeah. So those are the things na ano, that really tested me. But I don't know how about you. Feel free to share them here in the comments if you want. But there have been instances in my life when I feel so down. You know, it's like I have this inner voice in me that would tell me, "Oh, hold on, this is not going well. You have to do something about this." And then I'd go through like, oh my God, that's so right. Why am I doing this? What's my next action? I'd be crying because I feel like, oh, I'm a failure, ganyan. So how am I going to get out of this? How am I going to make my dreams a reality? That's happened to me before. And then after hours of sobbing and crying, but then there's this a small voice in my head that just suddenly went, "You're going to be okay." And I believe that was God's voice telling me, "You're going to be okay." And then I just stopped crying. It's like, yeah, I'll be fine. You know, it's amazing. And then, I mean, I still would cry the days after, but I was able to recover. And I was able to find my happiness. Okay. That story, by the way, was a heartache thing. It's just I was brokenhearted during that time, and I was crying. It's like, oh, it's the end. He doesn't love me anymore. There's no chance for us to go back together. I thought it was the end of the world for me. And then when I heard that voice, "You're going to be okay," I said, oh, yeah, I'm going to be okay. And then months later, I met my next boyfriend, which is now my husband. And so I thought to myself, yeah, things really happen for a reason. You just have to be positive. You just have to be strong. You know, no matter what happens in life, you just have to be strong. Yeah. Does anyone have any experiences that's similar to that? See, I'm not all about business because we're all human beings. Yeah. Another really hard thing that happened to me was when I lost my parents. So hard. It took me, especially when I lost my mom, it was so hard for me. It took me more than a year to recover from that. It's, it's, it's different when you lose a mother. So I was able to get over that as well. I hope you guys would comment with your experiences, relate to. And Ram, what do you have with you? What drink do you have? Water? Do you have coffee? So, when do you apply positive thinking? That's my question for you guys. When do you usually um, catch yourself saying, like, deflecting negative thoughts and then replacing it with positive thoughts? When does that happen for you? Is it when you're facing really big problems? Oh, that's my daughter. My husband's putting her to sleep. I think she's looking for me. She can hear my voice. So yeah, is it only when you're facing big problems when you feel like you have to start do positive thinking? Do you have to think positive thoughts when you make a mistake? Yeah. Okay. So let me know. Kasi ako, when at night, even if everything's okay in the day, or even when I'm having fun spending time with my daughter, I suddenly, I don't know if this is normal. I don't know if this happens to you, but I suddenly think of the worst things that can happen. Like, what if she falls out of the window? It's so strange. Or when I'm about to sleep, what if something happens? And then I just have to really, you know, really insist that's not going to happen. As in, literally, that's what I'm going to say to my head. That's not going to happen. I have to really, I kind of get paranoid. That's why. So I have to say that in my head. That's not going to happen over and over again until that thought goes away. um, yeah, and then when it's your first time to do something that's very challenging, you just have to be positive. Just have to keep your head up high. You know, you've done the best that you can prepare. Then, to me, if it's a difficult conversation, to me, I discovered that the best way is to pray before you have that conversation. Pray for guidance. Okay, let's read Ram's comment. Same, miss. How to turn off our mind just for a bit. Oh, okay. Yeah. Does that happen to you, Ram? Diba? Sometimes you just get so paranoid. Yeah. Can you tell me more about that, Ram? I'm interested to know more about that. Mm. I'll wait for your comment and then we'll continue. So yeah, so I think basically it's been positive thinking that's been keeping me going. Nah, I have my goals. I'll be able to achieve my goals. It's just that I have to do the work part of it. Be disciplined about it and not sabotage myself. Okay, I agree. Prayers really work. Yeah, for some reason, even if it's we're surrounded by science, we've sent people to space. We really just have to. We all it ends up with praying, asking for God's help. No matter what religion we are, it always helps. You know, when we are at our lowest point in our lives, we just we have no option but to call to God and ask for His help. Ask Him to give us strength, inner strength. Mhm. Thank you for sharing, Ram. So yeah, so in everyday scenarios, we also have to stay optimistic. So even if for example, in our everyday work, if there's someone who's, who makes us feel um, insecure or bullies us, we just have to be strong about it. We have to be optimistic about it. One of the things that I'll talk about maybe next week. I was thinking about this, but I think we'll talk about. Handling difficult conversations next week. How do you guys like that? I think that's a useful conversation or a useful session for us to have. How to handle difficult conversations because we'll come across that at one point in our lives. Yeah. So yeah, that's that. And then I'll share with you, let me know also, handle, how do you do positive thinking? Aside from what I mentioned earlier, like when a negative thought crosses my mind, I tell myself it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. What else do you do? Um, for me, I do self-talk, positive self-talk. Okay, you're not crazy to talk to yourself, but build your confidence because you're talking to yourself in a positive manner. Okay. I was listening to a therapy session earlier from my classmate in the course that I'm taking. She's a coach, and she was saying to her patient that why would you call yourself like you're no good or you're stupid or weak when you wouldn't call your best friend those words. So we have to be kind to ourselves. Okay, so when we're feeling like we're down, we have to build ourselves up. If we can't get it from other people, who else is going to give it to us? We have to give it to ourselves. Okay, so if you feel like you don't have confidence, then you say you have that uh, you reverse that word. If you're starting to say to yourself, "I'm so weak," or "Oh my gosh, I'm so slow. Why? How can I be so stupid?" Then stop that. Stop thinking that way and start thinking to yourself, "Okay, I made this mistake. I admit that, but I'll know better this time. Now I know this is what I'm supposed to do." Okay. So it's just the positive side. I'll learn from this mistake. Okay, I'm strong. I'm not weak. I'm strong. Actually, I'm strong because I'm able to overcome this. Okay, I'm not going to back off from this. I'm strong, whatever challenges. Okay, um, and then I think I would also suggest if you haven't already, then aside from doing self-talk, sometimes you just do this in the bathroom. If you're preparing for a presentation, preparing for an interview, or if you have some sort of privacy, you talk to yourself. Do positive talk to yourself. Okay, positive self-talk. Yeah. Okay. Um, because the reason why it's ingrained is in us is because it has a lot to do with the things, the feedback that we've heard when we were kids. Okay? So when we were kids, people sometimes they don't mean what they say, but they don't realize that words that they say affect us as we grow. And we carry those things with us to be the truth. All right? So it's up to us now as grown-ups to examine ourselves. Were those things true? Okay? Were we really weak? Were we really stupid? When I was a kid, um, my sister would call me stupid. Yeah. And I always felt so insecure about that, and it hurt my feelings. I was already in college, and my sisters would teach me, "Oh, you're slow." I said, "Why do they say I'm slow?" And then I don't know what happened after that, but then I got myself into reading a lot of books, and I gained my self confidence, and I just never stopped learning new things, and until that narrative changed to, "Oh, well, you're so smart." Okay, so whatever it is that the feedback that you received when you were a child, if you want to change it, you have to do something to change it. You cannot just tell them, "Oh, don't call me that because this is how I am." But instead, do the work so that eventually, whether they see it or not, you're the one who will benefit from the change. Okay? That's my advice to you. And journaling really works. As I said before, I do journaling in the morning, especially Monday mornings. That's when I do it because I set my goals. Okay, and then on Fridays, I go back to that for accountability, and in a way that helps me feel like, oh, thank you for this week. I done this. I did not get sick. None of my family members got sick. I was able to follow through with everything that I had to do. I'm satisfied with my work. I have new clients. I'm able to help other people. So, um, in a way, you can do journaling on your own. Write in a notebook every night if you want. Um, but in a way, if you can just acknowledge, even if it's just a meditation or say a little prayer before you sleep, whatever you say in your sleep will manifest. It will be there when you wake up. So if you think positive thoughts when you sleep, it will be there when you wake up. Yeah, I believe in that. Okay, so before you sleep, avoid negative thoughts. Instead, think of things that you're grateful for, and also think of things that you dream of. Like the other night, I dreamed of seeing my little girl a bit older. She'd be 3 years old. She's now 1.5, but I'm imagining her that she's already 3 years old, and we'd be in a vineyard in France at a friend's place because our friend invited us last week. She said, "You should come to our place." She was cooking mussels. She was making paella. She's French, but she was making paella. She said, "Oh, I'm going to tell you a story. I got this dress from her." One little secret from me. My clothes, um, I I buy used clothes. Okay, because I have a big frame, and usually my body size does not fit the Filipino size. It's somewhere in between. If I get a medium, it's too small. If I get a large, it's too big. But if I get UK 10, that's perfect for me. So I always get foreign brands. If I can afford foreign brands, then I buy them. Debenhams, Marks and Spencer. But if I want to buy a lot of clothes, then I look for used clothes. And I got a lot of nice clothes from her. And then we became friends. Okay. So anyway, we're in touch in Facebook, and she would always show me the pictures um, that she takes when she takes a walk in France, because she knows that I love walking around and I miss it because we're trapped here. We can't really go out. She flew back to France because of COVID. So anyway, yeah. So I'm dreaming of that we'd be having lunch under the trees, home cooked food, that my daughter would be playing in the vineyard. So things like that. I dream of that, and it's so nice. You should try that before you sleep. Dream while you're awake. Mag-daydream tayo about the things that we want to happen. Because there's nothing wrong with that. It's free, makes us happy. Diba? It's good for our health when we think of happy things. Whether it's something that happened in the past or it's something that we want to happen in the future, right? Yeah. So I hope that you guys will also be daydreaming tonight before you sleep. Yeah. Because when you keep things in your head, subconsciously, everything else will follow. All your small and big decisions will kind of lead to that, whatever dream you have. Okay. Um, yeah. So that's that. So my final advice or my tips for positive thinking, happy living is let's all be grateful for everything that we have, and then let's stay positive. Let's not be afraid of dreaming big things because it's not impossible, right? Let's keep our families close by. Let's show them that we appreciate them because sooner or later they will reciprocate and they will show it as to us, and that will make us feel good. But life is short, so let's enjoy every moment that we have with them, every moment that we can with our loved ones. And then a prayer will always help, even if we're not in the middle of a crisis. Let's always say a prayer before we eat, before we sleep, before we go on a trip, so that we're safe, or before our loved one goes out, let's pray for that loved one's safety. Um, and then in the morning, we can do meditation so that we're prepared. I listened to a Tai Chi Shifu this afternoon. His name is Master Gu, and he said in his meditation, he was teaching about morning meditation, and he said that when you have meditated in the morning, then that's what did he call it? That's you already have the success for half a day or something like that because you're already centered, your mind is clear, you're ready to take on whatever is in front of you. So, um, I hope that was a good um, piece of information for you guys. Next week I have an announcement. I hope you watch out for it. And yeah, I hope you all have a good Friday and a restful weekend. For those who are working night shifts, I hope that you'll be able to have good sleep after your shift ends and that you have a productive work. Alrighty. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you again on Monday. Okay, God bless you all. Keep the kids next week. Bye.